Hello, Samson here. So, in today's book review, I was reading another marketing book, a business basically, Purple Cow by Seth Godin. The basic idea behind the book has to do with the way marketing was done in the past and how marketing is being conducted right now, or rather, how it's supposed to be done if we were to uh, find a place in the marketplace. So, marketers for years have been talking about the 5 P's of marketing, which include amongst price, product, promotion, publicity, and all of the other 5 P's that different companies are using in order to market their products. But then there is another perspective that Seth Godin is bringing in to perspective when he's talking about Purple Cow, and the other P that he is including in the book Purple Cow itself is Purple Cow. So P, Purple Cow. So then, moving on in the book, there is an illustration that he's given. And an example which is practical is you're moving, for example, in a car, driving along the country, and then you find a field where you observe that there are cows. You see a brown cow, which is obvious, common. It's going to be nice when you find one. You drive along, you meet maybe two or so, and then you meet a herd of cattle. And then it's not going to be interesting anymore because it's not creating a buzz in you. The reason is simply because there is nothing that is unique and interesting. But imagine you find a purple cow amongst the herd of cattle. It's something that is going to get your attention and that you are literally going to pay attention to, and that is the whole idea behind Purple Cow. So there are certain lessons that I got from the book. So from some book review and from some summary of the book and from what I learned from the book. And the first lesson that I got is the fact that the world has changed. So average doesn't necessarily count anymore. It is something that is dead. The reason is simply because for your products and services to be able to be talked about, they need to have a unique component in them, just like a purple cow, which is going to draw your attention and which is going to attract you literally. So there is that component that has to be added. You don't need to be average in the marketplace. The lesson number 2 that I got is a fact of idea diffusion curve. So the idea diffusion curve, I think most of people who have done marketing understand that there is this curve that is divided into like 5 groups of people. Whenever a product or service is brought to the marketplace, we've got innovators who come in, we've got early adopters, and then we've got the majority. Those are the early majority, and there is a late majority. Then we've got the laggards. So these people are basically divided like that for a whole reason. Where, let me give an example of maybe you're offering a product on the marketplace. You're going to have people who are innovators where the product has started, and then you've got early adopters. And for the fact that the book is talking about your focus necessarily being amongst the early adopters, that is where your clients, your customers are supposed to be, because the early and late majority are people who are literally going to use your product or your service for the reason that it is working. But the early adopters are people who are going to create a buzz for your product when it is working. And then the laggards are people who don't have a choice anymore, but they just need to use it. So the focus is supposed to be on the early adopters. And then the other lesson I got is people only talk about remarkable stuff. So if your products and services are to be talked about, if your services and your products are to be on the marketplace, which is something that is going to attract attention, then your stuff has to be really remarkable. And then create remarkable products if you're to be talked about, if your businesses, if your services and products had to move forward. So there is this creativity aspect that has to be added. But the reason why most of products and most of services are not remarkable is simply because there is this fear aspect that is there. So that is just generally from other summaries and the book itself that I read. But then the last section of the book is where I got some lessons from, like 8 of them, where Seth is saying salt isn't boring. So there are 8 more ways that he's bringing to the table in order to make the car work for you. And then the first one is equation. Is your product boring than salt? Much more boring than salt? And the answer is unlikely. So you can add to your list like 10 more ways on how you can make your product better. Brainstorm, think, and then see how best you can fit into the marketplace. Number 2 is simply think small. A lot of times we're taught to think big. Maybe you target the whole market. Initially, not all your products and services are for everyone. So think small. We talked about early adopters. So target them. Those are people who are going to create a buzz for you for the majority. And then number 3 is outsource. If your industry or your company or an area or your field where you are isn't necessarily paying you off as you need to be paid off, then definitely outsource. Number 4 is simply build up and use permission asset. So we are talking about when you've got the ability already to engage and link with your clients, then you will be able to do that. Number 5 is copy, which is something that we are not told to do most of the time. So do not copy, but you are not supposed to copy from your industry. Copy from other different industries, see what they did, and then do it even better. Apply it in your industry. Number 6, go one more or even 2 more if you need. So identify what your competitors are doing and what they are lagging behind, and generally work on their weaknesses, strengthen your strengths, and then bring out the best that you have for the marketplace. And then number 7 is find things that are just not done in your industry and then do them yourself. And the last one is ask why not. So there are reasons every time you want to do something and then you're not doing it. There is always a reason for that. But why aren't you doing it? I love what Jim Rohn says. The 4 questions that he says you should ask. First one is why. And the answer is why not? Why not you? Why not now? So this was Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Till we meet in the next segment, check it out.